oil change on the Land Rover Defender. This is our Defender, the petrol version, the 300 brake horsepower P300 Land Rover. We are going to change the oil. We haven't done it, and we've had it 2 years and done 10,000 miles. So we should have done it. We've been a bit delinquent, but we've been busy. So, right, what have we got to do? So we've got to change the oil filter, which is here. I've just popped off the engine cover. So that all looks nice and easy. Now, I did read the manual last night, and they say to use a little suckery vacuum pump thing and to stick it down the oil filler tube to suck the old. But I've had a look underneath, and I can see a drain plug on the sump, so I'm going to try and do that. But I could remove the engine cover, but I'm always trying to cut corners. And I don't know why, really. I should just take the engine cover off. But I thought I'd try it. There's a hole about so big, and I can see the sump plug here. But what I'm worried about, I can get a spanner on it and undo it, and I can enough to get my hands in. But what I'm worried about is the oil is going to, like, shoot out. So I've developed my new special drain tool. Look at this. That's posh water, that is, Evian. Look at me. So I'm going to try and stick this up the tube so the oil, rather than sort of catches here, runs down. Obviously, I'll take the top off, remind me. And then it will go into my... So it's got 7 litres of oil. So I've ordered all genuine parts because we're flash. Look at us. So that's not it. There we go. There's the oil filter. There he is. Right then. And what has he got? So that's just a little cartridge oil filter. We'll have a look at that. Has it got a one end up or not? It doesn't look to be. Looks pretty. And it's got an O-ring in there. So we'll put the new O-ring on. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 litres of oil. And this is the Land Rover oil, Edge Professional, 0 to 20. So it should be quite runny oil. It should be quite... So we're going to... You can see it in there, actually. Look at it. It's quite liquid, isn't it? Yeah. It looks like it's sort of watery, which is going to make it even more fun, because we'll get under the car in a minute. What I'm worried about is I'll loosen that bolt, and I've got to loosen it, then take the bolt out, and I've got like 3 seconds where I've then got to get the thing up, and it's going to be super watery. I did wonder whether they should make a drain bolt that's like half threaded, so you could undo it, and then when it's undone a certain amount, it actually starts to drain, so you don't have to take the whole plug out. I ought to invent that. Right, okay, so what have we got? Kate's filming today. Is this going to get messy, Kate?
Messy.
Right.
Very messy.
I should just take the under tray off, shouldn't I? People have taken the under tray off, but we're going to see if this works. Right then, let's get underneath and have a look. So, right, couple of things. I did read a couple of people who've done this on the forum. They said, don't take off your oil filler cap. Don't take off this, because it allows the air in and it drains even quicker. So I can't remember who wrote that, but he said next time I do it, I'm going to leave likewise we're going to leave the filler in. Likewise, we're not going to take the oil filter out. So it's sort of pseudo sealed. So I'm hoping it's going to slow down that initial purge. But 7 litres of oil on my workshop floor. Right. I think we've got enough pots. Right, what are we doing? Let's get underneath. Right, now I might film a bit of this on my phone. So, I'm going to swap over now to my phone. You join me under the car. So that's the front of the car there. We come rearwards. And you can see there's these 2 holes. Now you can see there in the centre of the shot, that is the oil drain plug on the sump. The sump's got some sort of funky sound ending on it. That's 13mm, but as you can see, I probably can't get a socket on it. I haven't got enough leeway this way. But then what I'm going to try and do is put my little sort of scooper up in here, and hopefully that'll catch it, and we'll have a look. Right, back to Kate on the other camera. Right, so we've got the 13mm spanner on. Let me see how tight this is. Oh, that wasn't too tight at all. Worryingly not very tight. Right, now this is where it gets tricky, because at some point, right, so that looks like it's sort of hand tight now, so I'm going to end up drinking some of this if I'm not careful. Right, let's have a bit of rag. Right, I've got all my pots lined up. Right, there goes. Now what I might do is I might put my finger, because it looks like it's quite small, I might do the initial bit and try and put my finger over it. Right, it's spinning freely. They've given me a flanged nut, so I've got my fingers on the flange. Right, now, you should warm your engine up. We haven't really warmed this up. And that makes the oil a little bit thinner, and it should give you a better drain out most things. But we're going to... Right. Oh. Right. I can start to see a bit of oil. Oh, it's starting to come. Oh, it looks pretty horrible, actually. Right then. Right, at some point I'm going to have to... Right, I think I'm going to try and get that... Oh, he's got one more thread on him. Oh, he's starting to dribble.
Oh yeah, I can see it coming down.
Right. Okay, right, I've lost the nut somewhere, or my prize shirt is going to get damaged. Right, so the only thing now is I've got to try and get my finger out, get my hand out now, and ram this in. Are we looking tactically prey? Right, after 3, everybody. 1, 2, hold on.
There you go, there.
1, 2, 3.
Oh, you did it.
I did it. It's not looking too bad, is it? Hold on. Why is that not looking like... That wasn't too bad. We got a plan. It's not gushing as much. Now, this may well be the sort of vacuum effect. I got some oil draining off another drain hole here, but I got it all. Oh, where's that bit of tissue I bought, Kate?
Oh, right behind you.
Just try and stem the leakage onto my shirt cuffs. Oh, genius. Yeah, so that's not too bad. After that initial gush, I guess that was the air pressure. Now, if we wanted to speed it up, we could take off the...
Take the caps off.
Take the caps off to speed it up, but this is quicker than sucking it out. But it's looking pretty... I drained it into these IKEA clear pots so we can have a bit of a look. That's looking pretty black though, isn't it? Probably should have changed it a bit earlier, really, especially as it's the first oil change. That's sort of its running in one. I did try and look on Topics last night to find out what the recommended servicing intervals are, but they hide the information really well, so I'm not entirely sure. Right, we'll let this drain. Right, it's been going about 5 minutes. It's still going though. It's starting to get a bit splashy now though, isn't it? It's getting a bit... but our IKEA pot's taking it. It doesn't look like 7 litres though, does it? No. I'm not sure how long we're going to leave it going for. I've got to see if I can recover the...
coming outside the bottle.
Right, let me just take the filler. You keep looking down there, Kate. I'll take the filler stick out and see if that gives it an extra purge or surge. Careful it doesn't splash on you. Yeah. Right, here we go, dipstick. Think of dipsticks out.
They've made different.
Right, oil filler cap. It sounded a bit different. Right, that's the oil filler cap out. So at least it's not got any airlock now. I'm a bit worried it's dripping off the side of the bottle here, but it seems to be catching it all. I think we might better take this out now. It's super slow because I think without any force, I think there we go. It will actually drain straight. Look, it was just I was worried about that initial surge. Let me put those there. That's better, isn't it? Right. Oh, I can see my bolt. Let's have a look at that bolt. Oh, trying not to.
Don't drop them in the oil.
Oh, don't tempt me. Right then. There you go. So there's the bolt there. I don't know. We'll have a look if he's magnetic. He doesn't look to be. Sometimes they put a magnetic plug in and it attracts all the metal particles that might fall into the oil. Right, now one thing I've done, and it's probably not the best, is you'll notice, those of you that are astute with the eyes of an eagle will notice I've lifted up this side, which is the same side the drain plug was on. So my engine is effectively tipped up like that. So draining it here was not the best plan. I could either lower it down and drain a bit more, or we could jack the other side up, or we could just leave it. I think I've got the most of the oil out. I'll drive it for a couple more thousand miles and we'll do it again. Or shall we? I don't know. Oh, I'm going to lower it down and get the last bit out. All right, let's get the axle stand out. So we'd only taken this wheel off to give ease of filming, really. But right, let's see how much more comes out if I can lower this down slowly. Right, we'll let that drain and see how much more comes out. Right, while that's draining, lowered down in that corner, we will have a go at removing the filter. I'll have a go at using one of these rubber strap tools. They're quite effective. Right, so here you go. There you go. That was no force on that at all. Now there shouldn't be any oil come out of here. Is it going to bring the filter out with it? Oh, so it's going to bring the filter out. I'll get a pot ready. Right, okay, let's get him out. Let him drain. He looks a bit squashed, doesn't he? Right then. So let's have a look which way he goes. Oh, that light's a bit bright there.
That's all right.
Is it right?
Yeah.
Right, there we go. So this should come out. Now, I don't think that's got any particular side it goes on. There's no writing. There's no writing on that side. We've got the writing on that side. So should we copy it? We'll put it that side the same way as it came out. Look. So we've got the writing was the one that went in to the cartridge there. And the instructions say to make sure you've got the. Make sure this assembly doesn't come out. It's like some bypass assembly here. I'll put a picture of it on the screen. They say make sure that doesn't come out. So give all this a good clean. And then the next bit we've got to do is, this is the O-ring here. We've got to change. So I'll get a little screwdriver and we'll get that out. Right, okay, so we can get a little screwdriver in under here. I'll flick the O-ring out. Give all this a good clean. Okay, if we don't leave any paper in that, that wouldn't be good. There we go, so we're all looking good. So we'll put the filter in and we'll put it there with the right in, the same side in. Now I guess it's going to sort of, there you go, it's sort of, and you've got a bit of spring to it there with the bypass valve. So that will hold itself. And then at the bottom of here, we have got the O-ring. Now you've got to make sure you get it in the right groove. Because you don't want it in the threaded bit. It's got stuck on that bit there. Right. Go that way. Alright, so it wants to go right at the top there. Not in that very top groove. In that one there. Right. And that should be all ready. That should all be ready to go back in. Now, we could put some oil in there, but I think it'll drain away pretty quickly. But I'm going to put the filler plug in, and I'm going to put some in there just to give it the best chance to get oil to its bearings as quickly as possible. Just going to give it a quick clean in there as well. There we go. Right. All looking good. Right, so before I put the filler plug in, so this, we put a new pot on the go, and that is all we got out through tipping the engine up. Worth doing, but not too much. Right, let me get it back on the axle stands and put the filler plug in. Right, so let's put a litre of oil in. I don't know if it will disappear. It might just disappear straight in. But at least I think I'm giving it half a chance. To give the oil filter a bit more. Let's just see, it might just disappear in. It might hold some, in which case it'll be it'll build up oil pressure quicker. Yeah, that's holding it ish, isn't it?
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be going down.
It's going down a bit. But at least I've got some in there. Let's lower that in slowly. It doesn't need to be super tight, I'll just nip it up with this. That seems pretty tight.
Is it?
Yep. Oh, I was happy there. Right, so let's get putting some oil in. Do I need a funnel for this? These little pots should be right, shouldn't they? Right, so I don't quite think we've got 7 litres out. So I'm gonna put 4 litres in and then take a measure on the dipstick. Let it settle. Now someone did say on one of the things I read that the oil is so clear you can't see it on the dipstick. They said make sure you're doing it in good light because it's so clean. So watch out for that. Right, we'll see how we get on. Right, we're 5 in now. And I think we're just starting to register. Make sure that goes down fully. There we go. Oh. Yeah, you can see it there. Can you see it on the camera?
It's a bit difficult.
It's a bit difficult. You have to get the angle right. But it's just up to where my... So obviously there's minimum there by my thumbnail. That's where we're up to. And this is where it should be. I think I'm going to put another one in. And then we'll run the engine for a bit. Make sure we got oil pressure come up. And then we'll run it and then check it finally. Right, so we've got 5.5 litres in. It's just registered on the dipstick. What we're going to look at now is we're going to look at the oil light. Make sure as we start it, the oil light goes out nice and quickly. So, when you turn it on, do you get an oil light on this car? Let's have a look. We've got an engine light, we've got a warning light. Okay, let's try and start it and see what happens. Yeah, the engine light's gone out. So we're all good. Just run that for a second, let the oil pump round, and then we'll give it a final check. Right, so we're all done. We've just had a check, so look at this. Looks like we've had a heavy night at the bar, doesn't it? Look, we've got them all the empties lined up here. So we've got 6 litres in there. We haven't touched number 7 yet. We've run it and we've let it... Oh, no, don't drop that one. I'm about to drop. Right, then. Have a look. Let's have a look how we are looking. Go the other side. There you go, he's up to here. He needs to be there, but I think that's fine for now. He's well between the... I don't want to overfill it. So we'll let that all drain down. We're all good. Oil change is all done. We did the air filter yesterday. What have we got to do next? We've got to do the pollen filter next. We might get onto that this afternoon so we smell all fresh.